Hello, hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. I hope that y'all are well. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Okay? Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Thank you so much for these gifts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me know where you are watching from today. Today we are talking about how your womb connection affects your earnings. So the more connected to yourself you are really does determine the type of money that you can make. And I want to dive deep into that today. Hey Nashville. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Because today we're going to be talking about how your womb affects your earnings. There are 3 key things that women need to pay attention to that impact their ability to be able to earn more money and make more money in their businesses, make more money in their lives in general. And it's very, very important. So today, and of course, this week I'm talking about womb truths. So yesterday, I spent quite a bit of time breaking down the bar assessment and breaking down why your creativity is stuck and how healing your womb from survival mode is really the key to being able to start the process of, you know, leveling up yourself, I guess, if some people like to call it that. I tried to put that video on YouTube yesterday, but for some reason it doesn't have any sound. So I'm going to contact TikTok to see what's going on to try to see about putting that over there. So if you missed it, you missed a very powerful live. So I'm going to try to take clips from it though and upload it so you guys will be able to get it for those who missed it if I can't get the sound thing together. But today, I'm going to be talking specifically about how your womb impacts your ability to be able to create more income for yourself. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be talking specifically about how what you need to do to close the gap between your creativity and the cash flow. So there's a gap. If you are creative and you have gifts and people are always praising you for your gifts and people are always calling on you for your gifts and calling on you for different things, then if they're calling you and they're wanting you to do all of this for free, that means that they see the value in what you're doing. They just know that you don't see the value enough to be able to monetize it or to charge the rate that you really should be charging for that type of service. And so due to that, a lot of people end up getting paid in exposure instead of actually getting paid from the expense accounts of these companies. And I talk about this a lot. You'll never hear me complain as a Black creator on this app about why or how I'm not being paid well or X, Y, Z, and whatever. Because here's the reality of it. Money is always going to follow value. When you understand your innate value and you understand your ability to be able to create value, then money and opportunity will chase you. I have a really great example of that, and I'm going to use it really quickly. If you guys are not familiar with the artist, I believe his name, and I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but I believe his name is Toby Nigwe. If you're familiar with him and his wife and his story, so I lived in Houston for some years, and he would literally go every single Sunday and drop songs on Sunday called Twisted Sundays, and he would just literally go out there. He didn't have any money, he didn't have these things, and he talks about how he didn't have it, but he just showed up every single Sunday. And every time he showed up, people would come to him and say, hey, well, I can do this, I can sing, or I can play the drums, or I can do this. And people started volunteering to just come in and support him because they were seeing what he was doing. He stood on his square, and because he stood on his square, opportunity started to chase him. So it became to where these large corporations were calling him and his team and asking them, what is it that we can do for you? And I remember him saying specifically in an interview that, when I figure that out, I'll call you guys back and let you know, because a lot of the stuff that, they're wanting to do, we already do for ourselves. So that's the thing. When you are operating from a space of understanding your value with true authentic purpose, and you can push the people and move the people will pay you for that. The reason why people, companies, corporations, companies and all, they don't want to pay you is, or they want to pay you with exposure, is because they know you don't see your value. This is exactly why the majority of people will go into a 9 to 5 and not negotiate their salary, because you're just so damn happy to be in the room. And it's the same thing that happens. It's the same gimmick that's been happening to people in the music industry, because you want people to scream your name and you want people to clap for you and you want the fame. You ain't checking for the finances, which is why you end up in a situation where you're hurt at the end after you've given all your good years, your good time, your good energy, your good attention. Now you have nothing to show for it. This is what happens to a lot of people at 9 to 5 too. You stay at these corporations for 30 years thinking that they're going to support you and give you something great, when in reality, you are the problem because you overgave. You give so much without knowing your threshold as a giver, and then you get mad when you don't get a great return on your investment, when you never paid attention to see if that was even good ground for you to be sowing your time, your energy, and your attention in. That's why you feel like that man owes you a closure conversation. That's why you feel like your job owed you better than to do you how they did you, which is why you feel like your friend owed you better to do you than they actually did you. You feel like that because you are, majority of the time, the overgiver in the situation. You are overgiving of your time, overgiving of your energy, overgiving of your attention. Why? And people who do that is a clear indicator that you don't know your value. So you're easily disposable and you're easily to be used and easy to be manipulated because you don't know your value. That's why people aren't paid well. That's why they try to pay you with exposure instead of paying you from their expense account. They know you don't know your value. When a man walks up to you, he already sees you as a valuable benefit to him. Now, what that benefit is different for every single man. But he understood that you had value when he walked up on you. The problem is you didn't know that you had value by just being yourself. And because you didn't realize that there was value in actually being yourself, you attempted to be somebody else to make somebody stick. And when they didn't stick, it's because you were shape-shifting into being someone else. Now you can't be trusted because you're easily swayed. And I think we need to start really paying attention to how these things really impact us. You have the ability to be able to create the life that you really want. If you're not living the life that you desire and the one that you really want, it's because you're not taking an active role or an active interest when it comes down to your well-being and what it is that you need to do for yourself. For those who are joining, my name is Antoinette. I'm a feminine mastery architect. And what I do is that I support my amazing clients in several different key areas. First of all, I support my clients in aligning with their authentic feminine design. There is no such thing as you becoming more feminine. It is all about you becoming more in alignment with who you are authentically. You are feminine by design. It's about you getting in alignment with your design. It's about you learning how to master your emotions so you don't succumb to the things of this world. It's about you understanding that a part of mastering your emotions comes from you literally syncing with your menstrual cycle, because you understand that that's a part of your design and the science of your femininity. Once you do that, you realize that when you get in alignment with the phases of your menstrual cycle, you realize that how you're super powerful and how much power you actually have. So when you actually get in sync with your menstrual cycle, you notice that your creativity enhances. You notice that you're able to keep the weight off that you wanted to keep off. You're noticing that you have the ability to be more productive, which puts you in position to make more money. And you're starting to make money from here and from here, not from here. We've been taught to work extremely hard and exhaust ourselves to oblivion, and I just want to ask you, where has that gotten you? Even for those who have obtained a whole lot of money, where has it gotten you? To gain the world and to lose your soul, where has it gotten you? Society has put you on a training system to get you to literally sell your soul. We're so caught up in celebrity business that we're so focused on what they're selling to be able to get what they're obtaining that you're not realizing that you're selling yourself short every single day, that you are living beneath who you truly are. Every single day that you wake up and you don't realize that you're valuable, that you are time, you are energy, you are attention, and you are money, is every single day that you wake up living in as a lesser version of the self that you are supposed to be. Period. When you understand the dynamics of your value, it becomes a whole lot easier for you to create money, which is another form of value. It becomes a whole lot easier for you to cultivate relationships, which is a whole different element of value. And when you're able to do those things, you can shift your life really to the next level. But you have to get out of survival mode. And survival mode is worrying about how you're going to get money. If you are still concerned about how you're going to get money, you are literally sitting at the lower half of yourself, and you're going to have a very hard time rising up. If you are sitting around here worried about money, you are not going to ooze feminine energy. If you are sitting around here trying to figure out how your bills are going to get paid and you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow, you are not going to be oozing feminine energy. What you have to understand is that the basis of your femininity is rooted in your belief. And your belief of you being able to know full-fledged that you're going to be taken care of by the one that created you. You understand that there's always going to be opportunity for you because you understand abundance is your birthright according to John 10:10, because it tells you that the enemies come to steal, kill, and destroy. And a lot of people live under the curse of steal, kill, and destroy. When you have a choice to live under the Messiah came to give you life and give you life abundantly. Abundance by definition means plentifulness. And because you don't really adopt that principle of understanding that plentifulness is your birthright, you always find yourself in a space of lack, because you lack what? Belief first. When you really go back to the original sin of everything, when you look at Eve, you think that the sin was that she ate the apple, when in reality the sin was her lack of belief. She did not believe that she was like the one that created her, so she allowed someone to tell her that if she did something that she would become more like the one that created her when she was already that way. And it was due to that misaligned belief that she made a decision which took an action that impacted us to this day. These are the things that we're doing every single day because we don't really understand the power of our thoughts. When you don't understand the power of your thoughts, you will allow yourself to think horrible things about yourself, which will manifest into horrible feelings about yourself, which will manifest into terrible actions that you take against yourself, which will manifest into cycles of sadness that you consistently see all around yourself. And this is happening because of what you're choosing for yourself. And it's all about what you believe in regard to yourself. So a lot of my work is me helping women align with their feminine design. And when you align with your feminine design, it becomes a lot easier to master your emotional responses. It becomes a lot easier for you to make money and create opportunity where money is very attracted to you. And then it also puts you in position to be able to attract the type of relationships that you truly desire in the form of friendships or romance. But you can't do that when you are in the space of trying to figure out how you're going to get money or in the space of lack, because it just doesn't work that way, okay? So today I'm going to talk about, like I said, how your womb and your creativity are these things are very, very important, how your womb impacts your creativity. And you really need to be very clear on these things as a woman, because I know that a lot of women, and I'm just going to be very honest, a lot of women lack accountability. A lot of women don't want the responsibility of the rewards and the things that we actually want. We want the relationship and the marriage, but we want a wedding, but we really don't want to do married things, because to be married and to have a wedding is two different things. We want a business, but we don't want to take care of the logistics and different things that actually are happening within the business to make sure that the business runs sustainably. I find that a lot of women want to take the risk, they want the reward, they want the results, but they don't want the responsibility and they don't want the rest, which are two key components to making sure that you have a very balanced foundation as a woman in business. But y'all are too busy out here taking risks, seeking rewards, seeking results, and trying to evade responsibility and accountability, and you're not resting on top of that. The body is going to break down. So you have to really, really understand your innate value as a woman, understanding that you are time, understanding that you are energy, understanding that you are attention, and understanding that you are money, so you don't stress yourself out over these things. so you don't do things that compromise your well-being for these things. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into about you being currency. So when I say that you are currency, high level currency at that, I'm saying that you are time. You are made up of Kairos time and Chronos time. That's your chronological time, and that is your ebbs and flows time. I want you to think about your life like an ocean. You know, the ocean tide switches and change. Sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's chaotic. That's how life can be. And I want you to come into the realization that life has its ebbs and flows in that manner. The next thing that you need to understand is that you are also energy. This is why it's a danger for you to be a people pleaser and for you not to have boundaries, which I'll dive deeper into that today. The reason why it's dangerous for you to be a people pleaser because it puts you in position to mismanage your energy. And you mismanage your energy internally because you don't recognize the divinity within your energy, because you don't know that you were created with a God frequency, or you don't believe it. You may know, but you don't really believe it. When you know that you're created with a God frequency, according to Luke 17:21, that says the kingdom of heaven is within you, you begin to act according to that frequency. You understand that about yourself. So you understand that you're always going to be provided for because you are of the one that created you. So because you understand the energy within you is precious, it's priceless, it's so innately valuable, you don't invest it in spaces that are going to drain or devalue that energy, such as corporations that don't value you, such as people that don't value you, such as friendships or romantic partners that do not value you. You do not spend your energy. You don't give your good divine energy to people, circumstances, and situations where you are going to be drained or discarded. People who do that are people who don't understand their identity. And because they don't understand their identity, they are looking for their identity to be identified through what they do for people, which is why you are cool with being called the backbone. Let's go. This is why you are cool with being called the backbone. This is why you are cool with being everybody's person, because that has now become your identity, and your identity is locked in what you do. And when you're not doing things or doing something, you don't feel valuable because you don't understand your energy innately alone is extremely valuable. So you pass it out to corporations for 30 years, and when they give you a donut party, at the end of your 30 years, instead of a raise or instead of something that you thought that actually was going to take you to the next level, you got the nerve to be mad. But in reality, that was your 30 years that you decided to give away to a corporation that was not valuing you. And in those 30 years, I'm pretty sure there were very clear signs and indications that you were not valued in that experience, but yet you chose to stay due to your false beliefs that that is all that you can do, that you can't do anything else. You can't go anywhere else. And the same thing that you're doing at that job is the same thing you're doing in that relationship. It's the same thing you're doing in that friendship, because who we are in life is who we are at work, and it's also who we are in relationships. So you can pick somebody else to play with. This is what happens when you don't understand your energy is divine. You live beneath your value, and you live beneath who you truly are. The third thing that you have to understand is that you are also attention. Don't you recognize when you walk into a room, the way people look at you? Don't you recognize and understand how people, their eyes light up when they focus on who you are and really zone into you? That's because you are very much so attention on your very own. It's what type of attention you draw to yourself that's very important for you to assess. How you magnetize is very important, because understanding, number one, that you are naturally a walking magnet. It says, so a man thinking in his heart, so is he. When we're speaking in that space, your heart is a magnet. You literally have a magnetic field around you. And the vibration of your heart is sending out a signal that is drawing people into your experience. So when you are drawing people into your experience due to the attention that you are giving off, are you enjoying the attention that you are getting right now? Is it elevating your experience, or is it exhausting your life experience? Because whatever your attention goes to is where the energy flows and where the time goes. And if you want to use this concept in a way to show how it can exhaust your life, it's about you focusing your attention and your sole focus on a relationship that isn't going anywhere, which is why your energy has all gone there, and the years, the time has now gone there, and you feel like it's been a complete waste because you energetically have stayed in a space that didn't need your attention, that you didn't need to be focused on. I just made a post, a TikTok, a couple of days ago when I was speaking about, do you really need to be in a relationship right now, or do you need to be focused on you right now? Because some of us are trying to go into one direction when in reality you should be going into the other direction, which is why this seems to not be working for you. You're not in a space, you're not an energetic match for that right now. Your focus needs to shift. Wherever your attention goes, that's where energy is going to flow, and that's where time is going to go. The longer you give something or someone your attention that does not deserve it, it makes it easier for them to manipulate your energy. When I say manipulate your energy, emotions by definition is energy in motion. When you give the wrong thing, the wrong person, your attention for a long period of time, you waste good energy. You waste good heart energy. When you do that and you waste good heart energy, you waste time. This is how you end up being in relationships for years, and you're trying to figure out how you even got here with somebody that you did not even like in the first place. It's because you gave so much attention to this individual while you were bored that you could not focus on yourself. So you chose to take that focus and focus on someone else. And what they did was, because they had your attention, it became easier to manipulate your energy and emotion. Oh, he not that bad the more I hang around him. Yeah, he not really my type, but he does all these other things pretty well, and it's cool. At least we having a good time. And next thing you know, you're getting played by the guy you didn't like. And the reason why you got played by the guy you didn't even like to start off with is because you gave him your attention. Because why? You are attention. And when you don't understand the value of your attention, you will literally give it to any and everything, which is a very dangerous place to be in. So not only are you time, energy, attention, but you are also money. This is why you shouldn't be out here exhausting yourself for money. You shouldn't be out here scamming for money. Trying to do all these things to be able to get money. Money is literally you. You are the value. Money itself, the paper money that you see every single day, if you have $100 bill in your pocket, you literally have nothing but 75% cotton and 25% linen in your pocket. That is what you have. You literally have a pocket full of cotton. So when you stress over money, when you love money so much to where you're scammed for it, whore yourself out for it, exhaust yourself for it, that's when it becomes the love of money is the root of all evil, because you would do anything to be able to obtain it except for be your doggone self. Because if you were to be your doggone self, money would be so attracted to you because of the gifts that naturally are within you. But because you don't really understand that, and you don't know that you have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to Proverbs 8 and 12, you do things for money instead of receiving money, and you wonder why you never seem to have enough. You never seem to have enough because you don't understand that the value is actually not in the money. The value is in you. See, do you not pay attention to the fact that the corporations, including the United States, that's a corporation, they see the value in all of its inhabitants in its country, which is why we do the census, which is why at your job, when you go to your 9 to 5, they pay you a cheap salary to achieve their goal, because they see the value in having employees, which is why they have you to do the work that it is that they need done to get their corporation to the next level. You have other accounts pretending to be you. Please block them. Y'all, I will never inbox y'all and say anything crazy like, what's your sign? What's this? Are you enjoying my content? I'm not going to do that. I only have one account. So if you see anyone else outside of this account, they lying, block them. Somebody even inboxed my sister, my blood sister, trying to pretend to be me. Hilarious. And then they blocked my sister when she said stop trying to copy my sister, weirdo. So please block them. They only have one account on TikTok. Okay, so when you understand that you are money and you understand the value is within you, then you can create money outside of yourself. Okay, that's when you know you can create money outside yourself. So put in the comments for me, I am high level currency, because I need you to know that you are time, energy, attention, and money. And when you understand that you are these things, and you believe that you are these things, and you know that you are these things, you can expand these things. You can expand your time here. When you understand the value of time, you can expand your energy. You can expand your attention, and you can expand your money. And I'm telling you this as a person who has done all three and who has coached a multitude of women into doing the exact same for themselves. Okay? And so, for those who are joining again, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine mastery architect, and today I'm going to be talking about how your womb connection affects your earnings. But before I even get into the whole womb aspect, thank you, my love, for these gifts. I need you to understand your innate value. When you understand your innate value, you'll stop performing. You'll stop pretending. You'll stop practicing. And you'll get into alignment and actually start attracting what it is that you would desire. Because making money is not hard, y'all. I promise you it's not. It's not hard at all. All you got to do is know how to do math, strategically price, and know how to do reverse psychology on yourself. Reverse psychology on yourself is knowing that people are ready and willing to pay you this amount of money and not shortchanging yourself. So that's the reverse psychology. When you put yourself in those positions and you do that, you can make a lot of money. I've built my business from the ground up to 6 figures. I've supported my clients in going from 5 figures to 6 figures and from 6 figures to multi 6 figures. And it's not because I've taught them some form of magic tricks. I just really taught them to get into alignment with themselves. And when you get into alignment with themselves, what you understand is, again, abundance is your birthright, according to John 10:10. And you also understand, when you get in alignment spiritually and you seek ye first the kingdom and all this righteousness, everything else gets added unto you when you are in a space of obedience, because obedience is way better than sacrificing. I have spent a lot of years sacrificing, and I can tell you I've spent the last 7 years in a space of obedience, and the way that my life has elevated has been completely insane. Completely insane. And so I want to get into that today, okay? So before I go ahead and get into that, next thing I need you to know is that your belief impacts your biology, and your biology influences the way you behave. Whatever you believe about yourself, the body's going to come into agreements with, and the behavior is going to exhibit. So that's why I tell people all the time, your behavior always tells on you at all times. All I got to do is watch you behave, and I can tell you about you. I can tell you about your inner you. And I really think that we don't realize how much we actually project because we don't understand how we operate. So understand that your belief impacts your biology, and your biology influences the way that you behave. The next thing you need to understand and be very clear on before I get into these key points that are impacting your ability to earn more money is that it's one thing to earn money, but it's a different thing to be able to sustain and keep a flow of money coming in. And I really want us to get comfortable with a consistent flow of money, which I'm going to talk about a lot of that within the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. But I want us to really get in this space and really understanding how to create a flow of money, by stop hoarding money and stop worshiping money and stop putting money on this pedestal, and understand your value and make yourself amplify your gifts so much that you become so magnetically attractive to monetary opportunities that you're irresistible to them. And that's really what has to happen. It's not that people don't want to pay you. You aren't irresistible to money, so people ain't paying you, baby. You're repellent to money because you treat it like it's a god. Money never asked to be worshipped. That's the thing. Money never asked to be worshipped. Hi. Money never asked to be worshipped. Money is an energetic experience, and it goes after what's valuable. Period. And all you have to do is appear as yourself, which is authentically valuable when you are in full alignment, because you have a uniqueness about you that is so attractive that will put you in rooms, because it's authenticity that puts you in the room, but it is your character that keeps you in the room, which is why you have to consistently be doing your work. Okay? There's a 3-part success strategy system. So you don't want to just earn money. You want to create something that's sustainable where money is flowing in consistently. The first thing that you need to know is obedience to spiritual law. Y'all, I know a lot of us have grown up in watching our parents live double lives. Growing up, especially if you're a millennial, you've grown up in the era of white Jesus. You've grown up in the era of tradition. You've grown up in the era of, going to church sun up and sundown. And a lot of millennials are confused about their spiritual journey. My strong recommendation is for you to research and to reach out for yourself, one of the best things that I could have ever done is to build a real relationship with the Most High. And it is in that building that relationship with the Most High that I have come to understand spiritual law. And when I came to understand spiritual law, that's when I started creating a different reality for myself. That's how I lost 90 pounds. That's how I created a 6-figure business. That's how I walked away from my government job at 35. Like, when I begin to understand spiritual law, I begin to realize that I really could have the desires of my heart and that God is not a liar. God is not a liar. God is not a liar, and it all comes from you understanding and obeying spiritual law. When you obey spiritual law, you know how to bend your reality. And what I mean by that is something as simple as God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, ye shall reap. That principle that we tend to use so much when people piss us off or when people make us upset and all that type of stuff, this principle actually is something that we really should be applying to our lives. And what I mean by that is you need to be very careful about what you say to yourself. When you disrespect yourself, you invite disrespect from other people to come your way, because that's the vibrational tone that you have set for your experience. When you say that you are not worthy, when you say that you are irresponsible, when you say that you are ugly, you are stupid, you are all of these things, you invite people into your experience to confirm these things. You invite people into your space to confirm the things, confirm the truth about you. If you don't like the people in your world and you feel like, oh, I need more people in my existence, the people in your existence reflect who you are. They reflect who you are because they are in response to the current vibrational state that you are in. Because guess what? The minute you stop lying to yourself, your space becomes an honest space. Therefore, liars aren't welcome. When you begin to make sure that your environment internally is an honest one, when you keep it real with yourself, if you don't keep it real with nothing else and nobody else, you keep it real with you. When you keep it real with you, it becomes a requirement for other people to keep it real with you. You do not allow people into your existence who cannot keep it real with you, because it is a standard for you to keep it real with you according to spiritual law, because you understand that whatever a man sows, ye shall reap. So if you lie to self, you invite someone to lie to you. When you lie to someone else, you invite a lie into your experience from someone that you may have really wanted the truth from. They're going to lie to you. But these are the tones that you set when you don't really understand spiritual law. Hey, my love, when you don't understand spiritual law, you can't obey it. When you don't obey it, you wreak havoc on your life, which is why you are reaping all of the things that you have currently sown. Your life results don't lie. Your timeline doesn't lie. Your IG feed doesn't lie. Your TikTok feed doesn't lie to you. These are things that you have liked and engaged in and commented on or inserted yourself in, and this is the reflection of your life. This is your mirror. This is your mirror. So if you want to attract people who treat you with honor, it starts with you treating yourself with honor. It's all about how you are going to treat self, because self-care is the key fundamental of every single relationship, because you set the tone of how people treat you by the way you treat yourself. Okay? So it's very important and very vital for you to understand that obedience to spiritual law is the first thing that has to happen. Okay? So the second thing that I need you to be very clear on and understand is that I need you to understand the science of yourself. Okay? If you don't understand the science of how you operate as a woman, you're going to have difficulty in this world. Society really sets us up for learning the aesthetics of womanhood. Learn how to cook, learn how to clean, learn how to be cute, learn how to use feminine wiles, learn how to do these things. But they don't teach you the key thing that you need to understand about yourself is this. You have 4 phases in your menstrual cycle. And when you are not in alignment with your menstrual cycle, it throws your entire body out of balance. And when it throws your entire body out of balance, that becomes an invitation for illness and disease to enter into your body. Such as, okay, and I'll use these examples: fibroids, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, and a multitude of other things. Okay? And I'm telling you, as a person who in 2004 was diagnosed with this, and they told me that I wasn't going to be able to lose weight, and they told me all my eggs were going to be messed up. And I took 6 months of listening to the Most High, and my cycle has been coming consistently for the last 70 years against the 20 years of advisements that they were trying to give me. Okay? So when you understand the science of yourself and the way that you operate, then you can understand the science of everything else. When you understand the science of your feminine design, then you can understand the science of the masculine design. And if you can understand the masculine design and the feminine design, then you can coexist. And when you can coexist with the masculine design, then when we bring children in the space, we understand the science of the development of children. And see, some of us are not understanding our chemical energy, and we're not in alignment with our chemical energy, and therefore we are trying to get in alignment with a man and his chemical energy, and we're making choices off of an imbalanced brain because we're chemically off. So you're choosing men from that imbalanced space. So when you take your imbalanced chemical energy and you get with his imbalanced chemical energy, because you can't make wise decisions from a unbalanced place. Hey, best girl. And when you realize that you've made a decision to be with this person, and chemicals do what they do when they don't belong, they blow up in your face, you want to try to figure out why your love life is an explosion. It's because you are choosing from an imbalanced place. You are choosing from an imbalanced place. You're making decisions not from a logical or a wise place, because you're not even in sync with your cycle enough to know that you have 4 phases. You have the menstrual phase, you have the follicular phase, we have ovulation, and then we have luteal. And you are literally 4 different women, all of those phases. And because you don't understand that you're 4 different women, because there are certain things that you need to be eating, certain ways you need to be working out, certain ways you need to be resting, you're out of sync with self, and so you're moody to the people around you. Or they think that you're PMSing, that's what they call it, when really and truly you are not in sync with the cycle. Yes, there are plenty of books that you can look on Google to be able to obtain in regard to this. And I also have a course where I break this completely down, and I'm having a master class where I'm actually teaching women specifically how to be psychocentric leaders in their businesses. And you can click the link in the bio to be able to get access. Okay? So you got to understand the science of yourself so you can understand the science of everything else around you. Very important. My clients, and I'm just putting y'all on game. For those who track their cycles in the apps, or use devices to track their cycle or to be in tune with their cycle, what are you going to do when all these things cut off and you don't have access to the internet? Because one day that's coming. Hear me when I tell y'all in a minute, the internet is not going to always be free. I'm trying to put y'all on game and tell y'all something that's coming in a couple of years. Watch your steps. What are you going to do when those apps fail? Do you know how the signs of nature to pay attention to know what phase of the cycle that you are in? My clients can look at the moon and know exactly what phase of the cycle they're in. My clients can look at the seasons and literally know the phases that they are in within their body, within their month, and they use that to be able to make more money. My clients don't need apps. Now, when I train them and I teach them, my clients have the complete and utter framework that teaches them. They literally can look at the moon and know exactly what phase that they are in their cycle, and they know exactly what to do. Can you do that? Then what the hell are you going to do if they turn everything off one day? What are you going to do if everything, you just wake up and nothing is working? Are you connected with the earth enough to know what is happening within your body? No? Then you don't understand the science of yourself. Therefore, you can't understand the science of everything else around you, which is why you lack stability within self and stability outside of self, and instability in these relationships, because there's no stability within self. There's no grounding within self. The root is not grounded. Therefore, there is no flow of the womb. Earth grounding, womb flow. Just trying to let you know. Third aspect of the success strategy system that's very important. Knowing your personal psychology so that you don't repeat it. I understand that we're in the therapy era. I understand that we are, making a whole lot more money than our parents. We're just doing a whole lot of stuff that's different, right? I need you to still understand that you're still a lemon that came from that lemon tree. And if at any time if you get pushed into a corner, you're going to squeeze out the lemon juice. You're going to squeeze out whatever is in you. And if you don't take the time to assess your lineage for the gaps so that you can remove the unforgiveness from your vessel so that you can flourish in feminine energy, then you're going to find yourself repeating the same cycles of the people that came before you because you think you're so much better than them. You are assessing their lives saying that how you don't want to be like them, and baby, you're just like them. I'm sorry, your mom got cheated on by her husbands, but you getting cussed out by yours, and you feel like because you're not being cheated on and you're just being cursed out, it's a lower level, it's better. It's all dishonor. Pay attention to where you learn how to dishonor yourself. Okay? Because you think you better. You think you a whole lot better than her because you're not getting your head pushed between washer and dryers. But the way that your design operates is it's almost like you might as well be getting hit between the washer and dryer because the emotional hits are even harder for you. See, that's the real ones that break you down, the ones you can't see. But it's literally breaking the body down on the inside. And then when you end up getting sick, you're trying to figure out what happened. What going on? Okay? So you're not better than them. You're not better than them. You are to look at what has happened before them, close those doors so your children don't have to close them or don't have to walk through them, so that you can live more of a fulfilled life. Because feminine energy and unforgiveness can't reside in the same vessel. One of them makes you sick and the other one frees you. You're going to have to choose. You want to be sick or you want to be free. And for those who are wondering, I also am an energetic psychology practitioner, and I study emotions on a cellular level, so I can tell you that resentment ruins your liver, which impacts the way your menstrual cycle operates, which also impacts your vision. When the liver is not operating properly because there's so much resentment has been beat down, you begin to go blind. See, people think that people go blind due to diabetes, right? But you actually start to go blind because the liver can't provide the nourishing blood to the eyes so the eyes can actually see properly because the liver is ruined. And the liver gets ruined over time by resentment. So it just gets beats down to where it doesn't work right. So not only can you not see clearly, literally, but you can't see clearly figuratively to be able to create a new life. And you can't even create because the womb ain't working right. Why? Because the liver is ruined, and the liver plays a huge part in how your menstrual cycle operates. So when the liver is ruined, you can't freaking procreate, which means you can't create, which means you can't even create literally, and you can't create figuratively. You can't create the life you want because you can't see past your resentment. Hello. This is why God tells us not to give anger a foothold. You know, God really don't be lying. We be hating on God, but God really don't be lying, because God really be trying to put us on game and let us know ahead of time. Ahead of time. Oh, honey, there's so many different things that are linked to fibroids, but I'm going to tell you, fibroids isn't my ministry, but I will tell you whose ministry it is. Sasha Rose, the health coach. See, I can tell you how to prevent yourself from going into that space, but if you're already there, she is that girl to help you get rid of them without having to go get those surgeries. And I'm telling you what I know, not just because I love and adore her, but also because her testimonials are countless. It's because I've been in her plant-based programs. It's because she was also my former client. It's because all of these things. So she is that girl to support you in that. How about PCOS? So I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2004 when no one was really talking about it. And I spent 20 years from the age that I was 11 to 33 with an irregular cycle. I listened to the doctors from the time I was 20 all the way up until the time I was 33 about me taking metformin and taking all these all freaking drugs that ruin your kidneys. They ruin your kidneys, because all medications you gotta take for a long time, they have an impact on your kidneys, just in case you didn't know. So why everybody chilling and like being on medicine and chill? I would hurry up and try to get off that medicine as quick as I can. So basically, they tried to put me on that for 20 years. 20 years, had me kind of doing that run around. Had me on birth control pills. None of those things worked. My best friend died. I went through a spiritual awakening. I spent 6 months being very in tune with what the Most High told me to do in regard to my body. My cycle has been coming back consistently for the last 7 years. I haven't had any of those issues. I can totally have babies whenever I feel like I want to have them. Like these things, and I'm 40. So let's talk about it. Let me be very clear. I'm 40. And these are things that they were telling me in my 20s, and I am 40. Very much so can have babies. Okay? So when I tell you, and a lot of the thing, and I lost 90 pounds, and a lot of those things, like when women ask me all the time what made me get in that space of doing that, it came from me having to heal. A lot of my weight had a lot to do with my trauma in wanting to be protected and not wanting to be seen by people. Don't look at me. And so I wore a coat of weight. I also wore a coat of angry. So I was an angry, fat, black woman. I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm keeping it so real with you. That was my armor. Because I was so broken down, I was so beaten down by life, and I was in so much pain from my experiences that I had from childhood and things that I had participated in when I didn't understand my value. But that's what happens when you don't understand the science of yourself and when you don't know your personal psychology so that you don't repeat it. The women in my family, a lot of them have issues with emotional eating, lack of self-control, and they're sick. And I was sick. Okay? So when I tell you all of these things impact your ability to be able to create the life you want and even be able to create more money in your life because you're not really taking care of yourself. Okay? When I went through my, are we twins? Hey, twin girl, where have you been? When you went through your spiritual awakening, did you have to totally disconnect from everybody and everything? I wouldn't say I had to totally disconnect from everyone and everything, but I went through a period of solitude. Because at the time I had lost my best friend as well. So I went through a period of solitude. How did I get myself together? The Most High got me together. That's the real truth. Cause baby, it wasn't me, okay? Cause it wasn't me. Okay, well y'all say these questions. So let me go ahead and give y'all this information about how your womb connection affects your earnings, so y'all can start making more money, and start positioning yourself to attract monetary opportunities instead of people trying to play y'all and give you exposure. Make these people pay you from their expense account, but they ain't finna pay you from their expense account, okay? When you don't know your value. Some of y'all want to take pictures with famous people instead of getting their check from them. Why? I don't know. Even especially, and I used to be in a makeup artist game. I don't care what celebrity it is. You're going to pay me. I don't want a picture. I don't get paid in exposure. I'm paid from expense accounts because I understand my value, and I want you to understand the same thing. But in order for you to feel that way, you have to be connected to your womb. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? For those who don't know me, who are joining, my name is L. Antoinette. I am a feminine mastery architect, and I support my clients in aligning with their feminine design, mastering their emotion, harnessing the power of their menstrual cycle so that they can enhance their creativity, their productivity, and most importantly, their money. I have done this by supporting my clients from going from 5 figures to 6 figures, from 6 figures to multi 6 figures, and I've also built my company from the ground up to 6 figures without hustling. So I support my clients in doing the same. All right. So let's talk about how womb connection affects your earnings. And there are 3 key things that I'm going to tap on because these are literally your blocks. So when you hear people speak about creativity is womb activity. And when you think about, thank you, my love, when you think about creativity and you think about the womb, you think about that's what the purpose of it's for. It's there to literally create, bring life. As a woman, you bring life. See, let's do this right quick. Stop giving your energy to these clowns and these sucker I almost really cussed them sucker corporations, and start understanding, please, your innate value as a woman. You give life. Just put in the comments for me, as a woman, put in the comments, I give life. I need you to understand that you give life, beloved. Okay? And we don't allow people to take our life force energy that we have, because it is there to what? Give life. And we only give life to those who appreciate. We are like a breath of fresh air. That is how valuable you are. You give life. When you hear you hear earth, you think about mother. You give life. Earth gives life. Okay? The feminine gives life. So the feminine, in understanding that the feminine gives life, the feminine is destined to be protected. She has to be protected at all times. And so in order for you to be protected, you have to live by this key spiritual principle. And I'm dying on this hill. The principle is Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above everything else, because from it flows life. As a woman, your primary responsibility is to protect your heart. As a woman, your primary responsibility is to protect your heart, as in protect your emotions, as in protect your energy. Emotions, by definition, is energy and motion. The energy and motion within your body impacts the way that your heart operates, okay? So it's very, very, very important for you to guard your heart above everything else, because from it flows life, and you give what? Life. Okay? I saw a question where a queen asked, what about, and thank you, my love, for these gifts, what about if you guard your heart too much? I'm not telling you, the scripture doesn't tell you to build a fortress. See, some of us are building fortresses because we want to keep ourselves safe within it. We're trying to prevent people from coming in because we have made piss poor decisions about who we allowed in previously. Okay? So we don't necessarily want to build a fortress around our hearts. What we want to do is discern who is able to come in. That's all you're doing. You're not building a fortress up. You're guarding yourself and protecting yourself, and how you protect yourself is simply by prioritizing you first. That's how you protect yourself. You don't have to have a whole bunch of guards. I think sometimes as women and as people, as human beings, we want to try to prevent pain, but there's no way for you to prevent pain. The scripture is Proverbs 4:23. There's no way for you to prevent pain in this life. We all have our amount assigned to pain in this life, because we're going to have people in this life experience who are going to die. That's painful. We're going to have people in this life experience who are going to leave us in this life, and we're still going to have to grieve them not being there anymore. So you have to understand that we can't evade or avoid pain, but you can position yourself not to be played with. And you do that by simply discerning. You discern where you are to be vulnerable. And you strengthen your discernment by being able to go back and look at your past lessons, and being able to see where you were the problem and where everything went once you made certain decisions. Okay? That's it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this, how your womb connection affects your earnings, okay? So first and foremost, your womb, like I talked about yesterday, is a GPS. That's your internal GPS, okay? It lets you know where you at. If you have no flow coming from your womb, there's a block. There's a spiritual block. 9 times out of 10, there's a spiritual block. There is a emotional block, which came from the mental block, which is rooted in the spiritual block. It's normally a spiritual violation that creates the block, to be honest with you. I can say for myself, when I struggled with womb issues, and when I struggled with my womb issues, I also struggled to create during that time frame. And that's crazy, because I've been a creative since I was in 3rd grade. I wrote my first poem when I was in 3rd grade. I became a published poet when I was 17. So I have literally been writing poetry, and I literally have been an artist, a creative, since I was a kid. I came out that way. And I remember that I was in a tumultuous relationship around the time that I was in my early 20s. And in that relationship, I had a book that I used to write all of my poems in, right? And I remember being frustrated at something, or that person said something to me, and I ended up throwing away all of the books, all of the poems in that book. And so I threw it in the trash. And when I threw it into the trash, something happened, because I did it in a sense to try to appease this person that I was with at the time, and I ended up cursing myself. And I'll explain. So, what I mean by that is once I threw that away, I basically threw my gift in the trash trying to appease another person. What ends up happening is I became a people pleaser. And it's a spiritual violation to try to please man when you're really here to please the one that created you. And so what ended up happening due to that spiritual curse, I started to mentally put this pressure on myself that I had to be this certain thing for this person and do this certain thing for this person. So when I started to do and be that, I realized I couldn't create anymore. I could no longer write. Every time I tried to sit down and write, I couldn't write. Every time I tried to sit down, thank you so much for these gifts. Every time I tried to sit down and be able to create, I couldn't create. And then I began to gain more weight. And then I began to get terrible facial hair that was coming here out of order. I began to try to earn my keep because I felt like I needed to work twice as hard and do this. And I threw my body completely further out of balance. And it was a time when I couldn't keep money. And I think when I was in undergrad, I was working 3 jobs too. Baby, I was a 3-job hustler for a minute, okay? I was in undergrad working at the desk, working at Holiday Ham. And I think I was doing something else. And I never seemed to be able to keep any money. And I was literally feeling like I was turning into a man. Because I was just doing so much. And I was doing all of this. And I put myself under this curse, and I could not write. No lie. I could not write from 2000 and, what was that? 2006 when I did that, all the way up until 2013. I couldn't write. No creativity. Nothing. I literally put myself under a curse trying to please man when that really wasn't my position. I had no access to my gift anymore because I was trying to please man. And this is what happens to a lot of women when you lack boundaries. And that's the first key point. A lack of boundaries leads to the following. It leads to overcommitment and burnout. It blocks your creativity and your ability to focus on income-generating activities. It causes stress on the womb, impacting the function of the ovaries and producing estrogen and progesterone. The imbalance can lead to excess estrogen, causing irregular cycles and heavy periods and weight gain and fatigue and depression and insomnia and headaches. Healing your womb, reconnecting to your womb, thank you, my love, for these gifts, can help you really establish clear boundaries, productivity increasing, focus increasing, hormonal balance, a positive affected libido, weight, and hair health. I was going bald in the center of my head, y'all. I was going bald in the center of my head. I had threw my body into a realm of sickness because I had no boundaries. Lack of boundaries impacts your ability to be fertile. Lack of boundaries invites burnout into your body, which creates dis-ease, which invites illness into your body. It makes you sick. Little Miss People Pleaser, you're sick because you can't say no. You're sick because your identity is found in doing instead of being, because you don't know your innate value. So you have no boundaries. And you're hoping that one day that people will see you and see all that you've given and hope that they're going to give you something in return. They're not. They don't give you nothing. And I'm not going to give you anything because you're not you're not an energetic match to receive anything. And the reason why you're not an energetic match to receive anything is because you don't give anything to yourself. I went through my spiritual awakening at the same age as the Messiah when he passed, 33. It's something about year 33, baby. 33 almost took me out. I thought I was going to die. I ain't even going to lie to you. I was going to die. Okay? I'm telling you, Lack of boundaries is an invitation for you to be disrespected, devalued, dishonored, disregarded, all of that. All of that. Okay? When you lack boundaries, you can't even focus on the creative gifts that you have because you're too busy focused on doing something for somebody else. Didn't I just tell y'all that attention, the more you give something your attention, the easier it is for it to manipulate your energy and motion, your emotions? The more you are focused on that man and what he's doing, the less money you gonna have. Because then, what I'm trying to understand is, have you worked out today? Do you feel like you're at your, when you walk in the room, do you feel like that girl? Did you make money today? If all of those questions are no, you don't need to be focused on what he doing. Who cares what he doing? He doing him like you should be doing you. He doing him like you should be doing you. Because if you was doing you, they would be looking for you. But no, you're focused on them. And when you focus on something to the point of obsession because you want it so much, you become a repellent energetically to that thing because your desperate energy of being needy and clingy and deserving and wanting to be seen is the very reason you're not. You don't see yourself. How do you expect someone else to see you? You abandon yourself. How do you expect someone to stay? You lie to yourself. How do you expect the truth from someone else? You don't commit to eating right for 7 days, but you want him to commit to you for a lifetime? It's not going to happen. You're not an energetic match for that. And the universe is an algorithm created by the Most High that responds to the truth of who you are, the authentic vibration of who you are. And if the authentic vibration of who you are is a person who lacks commitment to self, then you are not an energetic match for someone to commit to you. So number one, your lack of boundaries is ruining your ability to be able to make more money. Because you're doing everything at that 9 to 5. Can you do this extra work? Oh my God, you're so good at this. Can you take care of this? Sure, I'll do it. You doing all this trying to get a promotion and you wonder why you still can't get ahead. Because guess what, baby? Authenticity attracts, and the fakeness that you trying to put out there by completing a task that you really don't want to do ain't finna get you to the next level. It's not. It's not. You saying yes to things that you really should be saying no to is not going to get you a heavenly reward. God is not going to get up there and say, thank you, you hardworking servant who allowed yourself to be ran over by everyone, who allowed yourself to have your kind heart star. Here's the biggest star for you, the biggest crown I'm going to put on your head. He ain't finna do it. Because he the one who told you to stop letting people play with you. He the one who taught you the game on how to become more discernment. He the one that told you to shake the dust with folks. He the one that told you that if somebody really driving and bring somebody else in it, and if they still acting a fool, let them go. But no. You're letting people tell you that you're being a good Christian by being slapped in the face. Y'all better start reading. Y'all better start reading, dissecting, and really digesting. Because y'all playing yourself with all these traditions, trying to honor dead people, baby, that didn't tell you the truth, that weren't living in the truth. Okay? So your lack of boundaries is blocking your ability to be able to focus on income generating activities. It causes stress on your womb. It impacts the way your ovaries function, meaning that you're going to struggle to produce. Number two, the second thing that is impacting your earnings when it comes down to your womb area is your unresolved stress and your unresolved trauma. You know we were going to go into this, right? Let's do a little hot take. Unresolved stress and unresolved trauma causes physical and emotional blockage that hinders performance. Negatively It impacts your hormonal which affects your overall well-being and your potential income. You are now moody. You are now unable to execute because you're so overwhelmed with your thoughts due to overthinking. Due to all of these things that you've thrown your body out of balance to where you're sick and you can't even work if you wanted to. You couldn't even create if you wanted to because you have a block. You have a block now because you're not dealing with the reality and the stress. You're not removing the stressor. You're not identifying the stressor. And I talked more about that yesterday. You're not identifying the source of stress within yourself because you think the stress is your job. You think the stress is your kids. You think the stress is your man. The stress is you. See, stress is an internal experience. Stress is an internal experience that you are actually experiencing. Nobody else is joining you in the stressful experience until you outwardly invite us in. So you need to identify what is actually causing you stress. And I know you want to be like, he just keep worrying me. How does someone, if you know that they stress you out, why they still get access to you? Why does a person who makes you sick or stress you out or do all of these things why do they still have access to you? You blame people when you aren't ready to take accountability for your position in that place. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. See, we love to blame men for wasting our time, but how did they get it? How did they get it? You wasted my time. How your time ended up in his hands because that's your time. So tell me, how did that happen? When you don't resolve the stress and the trauma, it leads to excess progesterone, okay? Which results in you not being able to lose that weight you want to lose. You've been working out so hard and you can't get that weight off. You're so stressed. You know, they tell you that when you got PCOS. They tell you that, oh, you don't want to do all this work because it's going to stress your body out even more and da-da-da-da-da. Y'all are throwing your bodies into a state of stress because of the excess progesterone, which is making you keep the weight on, which is leading to bloating, fatigue, and irregular cycles. All because you're not addressing the underlying. And these are all things that I had to deal with too when I had heavy PCOS symptoms, especially in my early 20s. I had all of this. I couldn't get weight off. I literally bloated and was super fatigued all the time, and my cycles were extremely irregular. Sometimes I had a cycle for a month, and sometimes I had none for several months. But all this was coming from the fact that I didn't work through my stress and my trauma. And so when people ask me all the time, how did you lose 90 pounds? I healed. And once I started to really rewire my brain and heal, I realized I no longer need the weight. Because the weight was a protection mechanism. I don't need the weight as a protection mechanism anymore because the Most High is my protector. And I'm secure in that. So I had to ground myself in understanding my belief around who I am and whose I am. And when I understood and I got grounded in that, that's when I was able to flow. You not gonna get to the flow of water, the cash flow, the river bank. You ain't finna get to none of that if you cannot ground the root. If you cannot create internal security, stability for yourself. You're not going to be able to rise up into the space of creativity so that you can attract monetary opportunities or even attract like men, to be honest, the ones that you want. Okay? Conditions also that are associated with you being not having this unresolved stress and this trauma which causes excess estrogen. This leads to things like endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, uterine fibroids. All of these things can arise because they're blocks. And I want you to really think about these things for a second. I want you to think about fibroids, and I want you to think about cysts and all these things. These things build up over time, baby. They don't pop up overnight. You just now finding out they in your body. But your body has been giving you warnings for years about what's happening. Years. I cannot tell you the countless women, and this is just a pattern that I have noticed. There is a pattern between women that I have seen. This is about 5 women that I know personally. They all had bleeding issues and iron issues in their 20s. And they went to doctors, and the doctors just said, oh, you might need to get on birth control, or might you need to do this so you can calm your period down, or you need to take iron pills, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. And what ends up happening is when these women turn and get in their early 30s, all 5 of these women that I know personally, they go into these doctors ready to have children. And they are finding out that they have fibroids, that they, all the time in their 20s, when the bleeding and the low iron and all of these things, oh, it wasn't a big deal. All you got to do is do this. And now you got fibroids. And you know why that's happening? Because that whole 10-year span in your 20s where you were bleeding like that and your iron was off, that was a sign to let you know the body is missing something. We are disconnecting. Your body is a vessel. It is a vehicle. It will give you warnings over time about what is happening on the inside of your body. But because we are not familiar and we are not in tune with the body, we don't know what's happening. We think it's normal. And because we just take what we are told, we don't investigate enough to find out what we need to do. Okay? So it is so important and it is so vital for you to understand how your body operates, how your body works. Let me tell y'all something. And this is not a shot at doctors or anything like that. They are only going to tell you what they know. They are going to tell you what they know based on the symptoms that you are displaying. And those symptoms that you are displaying, that information, the way it's being assessed, because it's been assessed by a group of people who have the same symptoms. It is your responsibility to find out the uniqueness of your design and how it works so you can do what is best for you. Yes, a plant-based lifestyle works. Yes, a carnivore lifestyle works for some. Yes, you have to find out the dynamics of your body to see what works best for you, what to alternate, what to rotate. Because you yourself, okay, it's your responsibility to take care of your body and your temple. And it is up to you to do the proper investigation to make sure that you are getting every single thing that you need. Okay? So important and so vital. All right? How do you find out what, love? What are you asking? As far as what do you find out? Blood type does matter. Very much so. Okay? So healing your womb from the unresolved stress trauma. Let me get back to that. It releases these blockages for you. It enhances your emotional resilience, your energy levels, your hormonal balance, and it reduces symptoms such as like hair loss, such as your skin issues, such as your low sex drive. It addresses those things because those things are connected. Those things are connected. And when you have stress and trauma, and then you have lack of boundaries on top of that, all of these things on your womb, it is going to be working out of whack. I'll tell you what I did for myself in order to find out what works best for my body. Do a reset. Do a strict reset of only fruits and vegetables. Do it specifically for starting out at 14 days, push it to 30 days. Once after 30 days and you start to notice the shifts and change in your body, keep going for about 45 days. Take it to 45 days, then slowly start to incorporate something into your body and pay attention to how your body responds to that. Your body will tell you. And if you ever notice, if you've done a detox or if you ever done anything to reset, your body will let you know what it doesn't like. Your body will let you know what it rejects. It's up to you to really pay attention to it. And I mean pay attention to the smallest things. If you eat certain things and your stomach starts to hurt, pay attention to that. If you eat certain things and you go to the bathroom immediately, pay attention to that. You got to start off with a clean slate so you know what you're doing and you know what exactly what's happening in your, you can properly assess. You can't assess from an environment that's already full. Okay? Number 3. This is the third thing that's impacting your connection to your womb, which is affecting your ability to earn more money. Okay? Definitely fasting for sure. Control issues. Okay? Women really struggle with control issues. Really bad. Like really, 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 really bad. And it's making you really, really, really sick. You want to control the outcome of the relationship. So you try to do things, or you try to attach yourself to things hoping that it's going to go this way. You want to control the people around you. You want to control your mate. You want to control your environment. You want to control how much pain you're able to get on this earth. You want to be in sole control of everything that you have control of nothing. And that control that you have, it creates the need for perfectionism, which leads to procrastination, which puts you in position to miss opportunities, all because you want things to be perfect. Little Miss Perfect. Little Miss, if I don't do it, it's not going to be done right. Little Miss, oh, I can't allow someone to come in and help me because they don't necessarily know how to do it. And I see this a lot from wives, and I have to have this conversation with wives a lot when they complain about them being with men that don't help them clean up, right? And so I always have to ask, is it that he doesn't help you clean up? Well, no, I just don't like the way he clean up. See, that's the thing. Let's get into that. You have your standard of how you want things to be taken care of and how you want things to be clean. Unless this person is open to being fully trained by you when it comes down to your cleaning, if you want the help, you either are going to accept the fact that people do things differently from you and you're going to get that need met, or you're going to complain about how it's being done and you're going to end up doing it yourself, and then you're going to complain about how nobody helps you. You have to understand that when you are inviting people to come and support you, they're going to support you in their own way. And if you're not okay with the way that they come and support you, then speak on that. But don't be out here looking for people to do and be what you want them to be and be perfect. Because you ain't perfect. See, as women, we really get it confused. You really think you perfect. You really think you are better than this person. Oh, I don't like the way he dressed, so I'm going to change. I'm just going to, elevate his style. What is wrong with you? Who made you the fixer? Like, what is your problem? You don't want nobody coming in there doing that to you and criticizing you and critiquing every little bit about who you are authentically. So what gives you the right to do that to somebody else? You want to control the image. You want to control how other people look. Like, what? What? See, that's why I'm not a fan of this whole, and I'm just going to go on and say it. I wasn't going to say it last time. That's why I'm not a fan of this whole black wife effect that y'all seem to love on TikTok right now. I'm not messing with it. And the reason why I'm not messing with it is because why do we continue to have to celebrate people building on our backs? Why does it always have to be you coming in and the black woman is being the cleanup lady? Here come this person, and here you come with a mop and a broom to clean them up, to make them better. It's disgusting to me, to be honest with you. It's disgusting to me, to be honest with you. Because I think it's very interesting to me. I just think it's very interesting to me. Why can't you just come? Why can't you accept? Why can't you? If I can't accept you as you are, I don't want you, baby. And a lot of times we don't like to accept people as they are. Women don't like to accept people as they are. We like to make them into what we want them to be. I mean, he don't really have all this together, so I'll go in and I'll just start doing that. You are not that person's creator. Mind your business. Stop trying to control people. I mean, he really is a good man, but he just needs to do this. So I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to do that. You just need to leave that man alone for whoever wants to accept him in the fullness of who he is, because you want a man to accept you in the fullness of who you are, don't you? Or do you? You know, we lie a lot. Women be lying like a mug. We lie a lot. Cut it. Cut it. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Your control issue stifles your creativity and your natural flow of ideas and your inspiration. Your control issues put stress on your womb, disrupting the balance of estrogen and progesterone. This imbalance can manifest as physical and emotional symptoms, including irregular periods, weight issues, fatigue, and mood disorders. Healing your womb allows you to create an environment for better flow, leading to consistent productivity, leading to the ability to be able to release and let go, stabilizing hormonal health, and improving your overall well-being. When you get ahead and start setting boundaries, when you address your unresolved trauma and stress, when you start realizing that the only thing that you are in control of yourself, that is when you will start to become more productive. That is when you will start to execute more, because you understand your innate value. Therefore, you're not trying to prove yourself by overworking yourself and not having boundaries and people pleasing, by participating in stuff like struggle love and creating more stress and trauma on your womb, or trying to control people who don't want to be controlled. Like, please, please, please. Connecting to your womb and doing the work that I'm speaking of is going to support you in reproducing, whether that's ideas, projects, or even getting down to the point of biological reproduction. A healed womb supports the creation process. Period. Connecting to your womb also supports you in having a heavy stream of income. Consistent creativity and productivity lead to a steady stream of income and attractive monetary opportunities. Never fails. Connecting to your womb allows you to be able to release. When is the last time you cried? Wives, when is the last time you had an orgasm? Those two things are connected. Wee woo. Can't release? Oh, you can't release. Yeah, makes sense. When you connect to your womb, you're able to release, letting go of stress, letting go of trauma, letting go of control issues. It frees up the energy in the mental space, enabling you to be able to not only receive, but to be able to create, which makes it easier for you to manifest. Hello. Okay? Now, if you are a woman who is struggling in these areas, you struggle to lack boundaries, you struggle with boundaries, you struggle with your unresolved trauma, you struggle with control issues, you struggle to connect to your womb, I am having a masterclass. This masterclass is called the Psychocentric Leader Masterclass. Because let's be very clear, I only work with women who are leaders. Because like I told you, the women that I have worked with, they have created lives that they truly desire, from making a multitude of more money to attracting the type of suitors that they desire, and just living lives as digital nomads that they really, really want to live. Okay? So why you should sign up for this masterclass is this. You can discover how aligning with your natural rhythms and your cycle can actually unlock your potential and lead to increased productivity, creativity, and more income. Okay? It also is going to support you in gaining practical insights and strategies on how to navigate the complexities of business and learning how to leverage your unique strengths according to your cycle so that you can have optimum performance, because you got to be in sync with all phases of your cycle in order to create the balance that you're looking for, especially if you want to make more money. Okay. You're also going to develop leadership skills that resonate with your authentic self, that's going to empower you to lead with confidence, clarity, and impact. And impact is how you get more income. Creating impact, bring income. Okay. You're also going to learn how to create sustainable growth and balance in your business by harmonizing your actions with your cycled and rhythm nature, resulting in long-term success and fulfillment. I always tell people all the time, the realer you are with you, the better you can structure your business out. Okay? When I'm going to say the better you know yourself, the better you can structure your business out. The realer you are with you, the longer you're going to stay in business. Okay? That's what I teach people. That class is $222. You can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. I had it happening. It was supposed to be happening this Thursday, but I have something that I need to push it back. So it's actually going to happen next Thursday. So you click the link in the bio. You're going to see 5:30, but you can click the link in the bio, grab your ticket. We're having it actually next week. So it's not going to be this Thursday. It's going to be next Thursday. What questions do you guys have for me based on the information that I talked about today? What I basically gave you today is, if you are suffering in those 3 areas, lack of boundaries, let me see, what else did I say? Lack of boundaries, I'm going back up to my notes. Lack of boundaries, unresolved stress and trauma, and control issues, then some people, you may hear some people speak about the system of balancing your chakras, which the system of balancing your chakras is basically just on the science. Everything I give you is going to come from scripture, science, and psychology. On a scientific level, it's your endocrine system. So it is basically the hormones that make up your endocrine system, which maintains how the chemical energy runs within your body. If you are struggling with lack of boundaries, unresolved stress and trauma, and control issues, what that states is your creative area, also known as your sacral, is imbalanced. It is out of whack. So when you hear people say, oh, you need to balance your sacral, or you need to do this, and what it means is that your womb is out of whack. Your womb is not operating as the internal GPS that it should be. And there are some things that need to be put in place to be able to to be able to create flow, because grounding is from the root, to be able to create flow. So if you want to experience flow, when it comes down to cash, when it comes down to releasing, when it comes down to receiving, and it comes down to all of these things, you are going to have to heal those key areas around boundaries, around your stress, unresolved stress and trauma, and around your control issues, in order for you to really release, which is going to put you in position to receive, which is the feminine aspect of what you want. Okay, so what questions do you guys have for me? What I will ask you is this, y'all. Please don't ask me for book recommendations. The reason why I say this is because what I have noticed is a pattern is that we as women, we're hoarders of knowledge. I don't want to give any book recommendations. I want you to implement and do the work. So I can tell you to go on Google and look these things up and find them for yourself. But if you're not interested in implementation, I don't want to serve you a book recommendation, because I only work with women and commune with women who understand the importance of not only gaining knowledge, but also operating from a space of wisdom. And you do that by knowing how to implement that knowledge, how to apply that knowledge. And so in my courses and services, I provide clear blueprints. Okay? Clear blueprints on how to get to point A from point A to point B. If your issue is you can't focus and you can't do your work, check out the Playground of Potential, or check out, because you're maybe inner child or inner teen things. If that's the issue, then check out the Playground of Potential. If you're wanting to manifest a new version of yourself, then make sure that you are literally grabbing the Soul Rebirth Bundle. How do you keep your spiritual life going? Do you go to church? I don't care. I don't know why your link in the bio isn't uploading. So let me hold on one second. Let me try to tackle this 2 with 1 stones. I'm going to answer Queen's question, and I'm going to make sure that this link is working right. I'm getting his iPad. So the link is fine. Okay. So I'll try again. Okay, cool. So I am a part of a ministry. How do I keep my spiritual life going? First and foremost, the main thing is the main thing, my relationship with the Most High. I do not go one day without communing with the one that created me. That's first and foremost. I do not go one day without communing with the one that created me, because here's the thing. The one that created me also created this entire world. Because I didn't create this world, I don't know where all the landmines are. I don't know where everything is. So I seek it, I believe it to be wise to commune with the one who created everything, so that I know what pathway I need to take. So I live by Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all of your ways and he will direct your path. So I am very embedded in that. That literally is tattooed on my heart. So I always am going to also implement Matthew 6 and 33, which is a spiritual principle. Thank you for these gifts. Seeking first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto me. So whatever it is that I think I want, I go ask for it. To make sure I go ask for it. First of all, I make sure it's in alignment with my life before I go ask for it, because I don't want to get played. Because God ain't finna give me nothing that ain't in alignment for me. So I don't want to play myself by going to ask for something that really ain't in alignment. So I'm ensure that this is in alignment. It's going to give me joy. It's not going to be a violation of spiritual law. And I simply go ask the Most High for it, and it ends up being that, whether it is in that time or at another time. But I receive because I ask. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, take your time. And just ease up. Ease up on the biggest thing is ease up on meat and dairy. That's what I would tell you for sure. That's been my experience, and that's just me. When I ease up on meat and dairy, and I'm not, and some people are like, oh, well, I'll just eat chicken. I'll be very honest with you. I haven't eaten beef and pork in 20 years. I haven't eaten beef and pork since I was 20 years old. I'm 40 now. And when I stopped eating beef and pork for all those years, I still was having issues with my womb. When I stopped eating chicken for a while, and I stopped eating chicken for like 2 years. When I stopped eating chicken and I really did that revamp on myself, my cycle started coming back. Too much estrogen. The things that they are putting in the chicken, when you're eating estrogen driven foods, eggs, chicken, different things like that, it is adding on to whatever is happening on the inside of your body, and it's making you sick. Too much estrogen. Again, let's get into it, huh? What the things say? Let's go back to these notes now. Just bring it back to the bottom of the map. In fact, girl, I wrote this down. Girl, I'm about to get in my. This is how much I love y'all. I'm going to the real notes. Okay. So, too much estrogen. Let's go ahead and get into it. When we have too much estrogen going on. No, this ain't the right paper. Is that the right one? Oh, here you go. Okay, I'm back. Too much estrogen, irregular periods, heavy periods, weight gain, fibroids, the liver is stressed, which also can lead to things such as breast cancer, endometriosis, insulin resistance, polycystic ovarian, and the root of the majority of these things is what? Psychological stress. Psychological stress. Psychological stress. I'm just trying to tell y'all. But do what you want. What about fish? I love fish. Fish has always been good to me. But that's my body. Fish has been really good to me. I'm type A blood positive. Fish has been very good to me in my body. Okay. What other questions do you guys have for me? Congratulations to those who have purchased tickets to the masterclass on next week. Does anyone else have questions in regard to any of the products or services that I offer as well? Because I will answer those too. Oh, and for those who have shown interest in the certification that I offer, the Feminine Design and Embodiment certification, I've sent out those emails for those who are wanting to be certified under me, because I'm not going to be coaching directly like this next year. I've been coaching for about 3 years or so now. I really enjoy it. I love it, but I'm going to be elevating into a space where I'm specifically focusing on experts. So if you have been wanting to work with me, you better get in, because the arc is closing. I will not be working with anyone else directly like this unless you are in the fullness of your expertise on next year. Because like I said, there's a huge shift that is happening, and I've been telling y'all there is a great divide that has started last year between women women who are in a space of self-mastery, and women who are in a space of mediocrity. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be caught up in the space of mediocrity, because you're going to continue to have these conversations about 50-50. You're going to continue to have these conversations about where's the money. You're going to have these conversations talking about how everything is so high, instead of actually elevating so that you can thrive in this society that's happening. Because guess what? The next 20 years, computerized and different things, you're going to see a whole bunch of things you've never seen before. And if you don't get in your creative bag by getting in connection with your creator, you're going to stay in survival mode. And I didn't want to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. You want to create a life, and you want to have resources as a woman so that you can choose a partner, or I'm sorry, not your partner, choose a suitor. Okay? Because you really desire to be with this person, instead of you choosing someone because you need to survive. A lot of women finna start getting married because they can't afford to live. So as much as a lot of y'all trying to stop going back to the 1950s, you are positioning yourself to be played and be at the mercy of somebody else's hands, because you are not taking responsibility and owning your fullness of your feminine energy and expanding yourself and your creativity to create a financial stable space for yourself. When you don't create that for yourself, you position yourself to be played with, and you looking for another man's pockets. But a job and a man ain't a plan. And then women who do that and operate from that space are women who don't understand their innate value to create money. And if you don't understand your innate value to create money in this $250 billion projected creator economy that is happening by 2030, you will be somebody else's slave. And you'll remember I told you. So, you can either work with your rhythm and get in alignment, or you can overwork yourself and see where it gets you. I've done it. It don't really work out well, but I let people do what they want to do, babe. I'm all about free will and choosing the life that you want. Who am I to argue with how you see yourself, how you value yourself? Who am I to argue with that? I won't. Just say it. When you speak on spiritual laws, which one are you speaking to? Anything that I'm speaking on is going to come directly from scripture. All of the spiritual laws, the 12 that you see, all of them have derivatives where you can go back and refer to them in scripture. So I'm speaking about scriptural laws, but if you want to go and start, I would start there. And then I also would look at the universal laws that are connected to that. Okay? That are very, very clear. Everything, and this is just my observation because I'm a very deep researcher and I love research, but everything really is a mimic of what the Most High created. They even make fake food. God gave us real food. They make fake food. God made the real sun. Folks over there in China making a whole nother sun. God created the weather for a reason. These folks got weather machines. Like, God created the universe as the ultimate algorithm. These folks have created all throughout the air all kinds of algorithms to be able to allow us to even be on social media. All of these things are mimics. And when you think about the universal law of oneness, you understand that everything is connected. Because everything is connected because it's all a derivative of the one. So, hopefully that supported you. Listen, I watched my mama do it too. And I can't do it. I dare not serve a corporation that intends for me to be a slave. I dare not. And I don't recommend women do that either. But like I said, click the link in the bio to be able to grab the masterclass if you want your ticket. Check out any products or services that I have in the bio. I'm not new to this. I'm very true to it. And my results speak for themselves. So for the women who are ready, because that's the only women that I work with, I don't work with women who worry about how they're going to get paid. I work with women who understand the principle that they're supposed to be taken care of because it is a part of their feminine design, because abundance is their birthright. So I'm not having money talk. If you got money issues, you can click the link in the bio and be able to purchase or even get some. I have a free course that teaches you how to solve your money problem. So I'm not coming to talk to you about money. Money is a minuscule thing. If you still talk about money issues, it's because you're not grounded in your beliefs. Period. Still to this day, it breaks my heart. She's still stuck in that way. Oh, I hate that. Because I can't do it. Exhaust myself into oblivion. It's a lot. But but we do what we're trained to do, and we do what we know. That's it, and that's all. Okay? Any other questions before I get ready to let y'all go? I'm going to do my best to be able to upload this live onto YouTube. I'm hoping that it doesn't give me any problems like it did yesterday and not have any sound. Like I said, grab your ticket to the masterclass. I will be going live again tomorrow to talk about how to close, what you need to be doing to close the gap between your creativity and your cash flow. If you are a creative and you're not seeing consistent cash flow, that's on you. That's on you. Because like I said, money goes after what is valuable. Have you shown yourself to be valuable? Notice I didn't say prove. Have you shown and revealed yourself, your own essence, to be valuable? I'm valuable whether I speak or not. When I walk into the room, I understand my value. I don't even have to say a word. And the people in that room will know my value too by the way I enter into the room. Do you know that about yourself? If you don't, then you definitely want to click the link in the bio and check out one of the products or services so you can get into the value of self. And if you are confused about which one or which service you should start off with, DM me exactly what it is that you have going on, and I will direct you directly to which product or service I feel like would be best for you. And let me be very clear, I don't care about your break. I don't care about your money. The Most High is my employer. I'm going to always be paid. I'm not checking for your dollars. I'm not desperate for them. I have that much faith in the Most High that He's allowed me to be able to create the business to where it is now, to where it's 6 figures, so I'm not tripping. So click the link in the bio to be able to review. If you feel led, go ahead and take care of your business. The course that you see on there, y'all, that is the female bundle, it says it's $697. It's not $697 yet. It's $497. It is going to go to $697 June 1st. So if you're wanting to learn how to master your emotions, master your feminine design, and how to package your intelligence and put it in a product to where you can create a service to get you to your first 50,000, then you want to get the female bundle. The female bundle is $497. You get that. You get the feminine flourishing kit. You get the feminine business blueprint that teaches you how to not burn out, how to create a business model around your authentic design. You get all of that for $497, and like I said, it's going to go up to $697 on June 1st. So if you click the link, it's going to say $497. And if it doesn't say $497 and you want it, you can do Client Affirm and Afterpay. DM me. I'll make sure to send you the link. Okay? All right. So I'm about to go, y'all, because I got to go eat. Because all I had was a smoothie this morning. I feel my stomach touching my back. So let me know in the DM if y'all have any questions or concerns. Make sure that you are following me on YouTube and you are subscribed over there. And just let me know if y'all need me, because I'm around and I'm answering the DMs today. So thank y'all so much. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. I will talk to y'all soon. Peace out.